The college football playoff is set, and the crying coming out of South Bend is Homeric. This is the worst thing to happen to the Irish since the potato famine. We'll discuss this and much more right now. This is Offside Sports. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Offside Sports, live from the Loft 100 studios in Southern California, presented by Turtlebox Audio. Check out their incredible lineup of portable speakers at turtleboxaudio.com. Also, thank you to Turf & Sons for the turf we sit upon. Turf & Sons, San Diego's #1 choice for turf installation. Find them at turfandsons.com. Alice and CJ, David, how are we doing?
Doing great.
Couple of days, we're not a couple of days, couple of weeks before the Christmas holiday. Hope everybody is in the Christmas mood, et cetera, et cetera. Before we start talking about Notre Dame and the college football playoff, congratulations are in order. One of us got engaged a week ago, I want to say. And being that Allison didn't do it, Dave and I are married. It only leaves one. CJ Stubbs, who's soon to become a husband. Congratulations, brother.
Our little baby.
I'm getting congratulated on every show.
All of these, you know, you're an uncle for the first time, and then you decide to upstage your brother and his wife, and you go and get engaged. So, no, but congratulations, man. That's awesome.
It's been an amazing year.
I bet it has.
For sure.
I bet it has. Yeah. The show.
No kidding.
The new wife. When are you guys getting married?
That's a good question. Looking at next year.
Okay.
You know, like in the winter time when we're back from season. But,
Like, awesome.
and you're all invited, by the way. Everyone watching.
The photos were gorgeous.
Thank
Your
you.
engagement.
They were.
Absolutely
They were
stunning.
planned beautifully, and she had no idea it was coming.
She had no idea, and she deserves it all.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good for you. Congratulations, brother.
you're a good one.
Okay, the college football playoff is set, and really there's not that many. The teams that are in, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, you more or less deserve to be in, whether you're a conference champion or you're one of the top teams in the country. And really, and disagree with me if you are wrong, guys. It really came down to the fact, or the biggest story mushroom in out of this, the fact that Notre Dame was bypassed by Alabama, was bypassed by the committee, by Miami, and has been left out of the college football playoff when they were one of the top programs throughout the college football year, and you can disagree with who they play and their schedule, et cetera, et cetera. Dave, did they get effed in the process?
No, they created this problem. All they had to do was take care of business. Literally, all four of us could sit here and talk for 1 hour and cover this topic.
Yeah.
All of us have a lot to say about what's going on in the college football playoff picture, and it's not a perfect process. And I'll say this, I'll give you a solution right now on how you fix it. You let Vegas figure out who should be in, because Vegas isn't in the business of losing money. They know exactly who the best teams are. Let Vegas do it, because they don't have a commissioner. They haven't figured it out. And here's the deal with Notre Dame. I'm so sick and tired of Notre Dame, is the fact that Notre Dame hasn't done anything since 1988. Haven't done anything. They've been completely embarrassed every time they've made it to a national championship game since then. Completely blown out, not even competitive. The fact is, you come up with this weak schedule. You over and over again, you pick your schedule. You refuse to join a conference. You could do so many things to put yourself in a position to be in the playoffs. But Notre Dame refuses to do it. They want to keep all the money for NBC. They don't want to share any of the money from the bowl games. It's old. It's just old to Notre Dame. It's so the entitled thing. It reminds me of the movie Big Daddy, where it was, what's the name of this game to the kid? It's I win. That's the name of the game, because that's what Notre Dame tries to play all the time, and it is old. And I'm sorry, next year's schedule, have you seen Notre Dame's schedule next year?
Yeah.
On the road, at North Carolina. Oh, they're impressive. At Syracuse and at Purdue. I mean, come on, dude. You give me a break. Everyone's like 2-10. Give me a break. It's ridiculous how Notre Dame tries to fix this thing every year.
I feel like a lot of schools are going to start doing that, though. Play cupcake schedules as much as they can.
Yeah.
So that when they're, their overall record is better at the end. I don't know. And I also think, are bowl games going to go away, do you think? I feel like there are so many kids don't play in them because they don't want to get hurt, the ones that are going.
So Rick Neuheisel had a great solution to bowl games. Play the bowl games first game of the year. Very first game of the year, you make the bowl games go that way, and no one's obviously going to miss the first game of the year. Plus, everybody gets what they want.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can go this route. Just my solution for bowl games, get rid of a lot of them. But every one of these playoff games we're about to see, make them be at a neutral site at a bowl game. Like, it's ridiculous. Oklahoma's hosting Alabama. Why don't you move that game to the Sugar Bowl?
Well, no, you can make the argument for it. CJ, when you look at Notre Dame and you look at the fact that they, as Dave said, they're not in a conference. They're their own separate, entity. They don't have to share any of that TV money or any of the money that they get for that program with anybody else. How much do you think that has truly come back to haunt them? The fact that they're ACC related in every other sport, but they're independent in football.
Yeah, well, Dave brings up a good point because, they have this independent schedule and they make it a cupcake schedule. And then if you put Notre Dame in, then it begs the question of, should Texas have been in?
Right.
They have 3 huge wins against Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and Texas A&M.
Right.
And then they get screwed because, like Allison was saying, they actually chose to have a hard schedule and start off the season with Ohio State, which gives them that 3rd loss, which really everyone's looking at and saying that's the reason why they can't be in. And then now Notre Dame's all pissed off because Alabama gets in over them with three losses.
Here is the chairman of the College Football Playoff Committee, Hunter Yurachek, talking about why the University of Miami was taken over Notre Dame.
And once we moved Miami ahead of BYU, then we had that side-by-side comparison that everybody had been hungering for with Notre Dame and Miami. And you look at those 2 teams on paper, and they are almost equal in their schedule strength, their common opponents, the results against their common opponents. But the one metric we had to fall back on, again, was the head-to-head. I charged the committee members to go back and watch that game again, the Miami-Notre Dame game, because it was so far back. And we got some interesting debate from our coaches on what that game looked like as we watched it. And with that in mind, we gave Miami the nod over Notre Dame into that 10 spot.
But Hunter, the way you guys...
And once we moved Miami ahead of BYU,
So
then we had that side
you've got
by
the
side.
situation basically, other than the FPI between Miami and Notre Dame, equal footing as far as their schedules, common opponents, et cetera, like that, et cetera. But Miami, then again, in the ACC,
Head-to-head.
Notre Dame's not.
Yeah, well, it's head-to-head. I mean, it's the easiest way to figure something out. Strength of schedule for me is one I always like to look at. And I look at who they're arguing Alabama's in. Alabama's strength of schedule is 4. What was Notre Dame, 44, 45?
44.
I mean, they, again, as CJ just said, they picked their schedule. They play, no offense to Navy, but was the Coast Guard not available? Because, I mean, what's happening here? It's ridiculous.
They play Navy every year. That's like
Yeah, but you can't sit there and say that's a quality game.
No.
You had a quality game against Texas A&M at home, and you lost.
The Irish fans are, I mean, just being on social media and watching, oh my God, next year, look out. And I bet once in a while, I would take the over in every single Notre Dame game in 2026. This is going to be Brady and Belichick after Deflategate times a million. They are going to go scorched earth.
Now, the recruits are seeing this, like how this is playing out every year for Notre Dame.
Yep.
Why would you want to go there?
Well, the thing about going to Notre Dame, too, is you're not making a 4-year commitment. As Lou Holtz said, you're making a 40-year commitment because of, and you're an SC alum.
Yep.
The same thing on the West Coast. That pipeline of alums in any endeavor, any job you want to get into, there's going to be a major decision maker who can say, CJ, you played baseball at SC, man. I'm a Trojan through and through. Come on in and I'll give you a desk and a place to hang your shingle.
Yeah, you go to USC for life and you go to UCLA for 4 years. But and speaking of USC, Notre Dame, the best win they had this year was against USC. And congratulations, you got the shillelagh, all that. USC, I love them to death, but they weren't that great of a
they're ranked
team
number
this year.
20.
Yeah. And you're going to use that and pretend like you should be in the playoff. It's just ridiculous.
Paul Feinbaum, who does a great job with ESPN, and he's a college football expert, and he's been doing this for a very, very long time. He basically says, Notre Dame fans, you can blank it.
Got it right. And the crying from Notre Dame is quite frankly embarrassing. Everything Notre Dame has done since the moment this was announced is really beneath a great institution that should stand for principles. Instead, they cried, they didn't get their way, and then they said, we're going home, we're taking our ball like a 5-year-old on the playground by not going to a bowl game. Why did they get it right, Greeny? Because Notre Dame had very little to show on its resume. They're not in a conference. That's their own fault. They think they're too good to be in a conference. And had they joined the ACC, which they, by the way, are a member of in every other sport, they would have played for the ACC championship game. They would be in the playoff today, and they wouldn't be a bunch of sniveling crybabies and really, quite frankly, in my opinion, the laughingstock of college football. Alabama, what did it do? It beat 4 top teams. It beat Georgia, the biggest win of the season for any of the CFP entrants.
Amazing stuff there from Paul Feinbaum. All right, now that we know who is playing in the college football playoff, who do we think wins it all? We'll unveil our brackets, and we'll discuss if Lane Kiffin is the most hated man in college football next as Offside Sports continues.